Here we see one of the most famous examples of ancient Greek pottery, the so-called Dipylon amphora. Archaeologists sometimes call it Amphora Athens 804 because it is now in the National Archaeological Museum of Athens and has the inventory number 804. The vessel dates back to around 750 BC and is an example of the advanced geometric style. This style is named after the geometric patterns that decorated the vessels of the time, especially in the 9th and 8th centuries BC. The vase was found in a cemetery near the Dipylon Gate in Kerameikos, a pottery district of ancient Athens. The height of this truly monumental vessel is 1.56 meters. The amphora consists of an egg-shaped body that stands on a low cylindrical base. Above the body is a relatively long, conical neck that ends in a black lip. The entire vessel is covered all over with geometric patterns. You can see bands of triangles and diamonds, but the main motif is the meander. There are also two frieze zones with animals on the neck. The upper frieze shows standing, grazing deer, while the lower frieze, which can be seen here in this photo, shows lying deer looking back. On the front of the amphora, in the zone between the handles, a scene with 19 people is depicted. It is a so-called prothesis, the laying out of a deceased person. The dead woman is depicted centrally on a couch. The shroud, which is decorated with a checkerboard pattern, is folded up, so to speak, to give the viewer a view of the deceased. To the left and right are 7 people each, tearing their hair out as a sign of mourning. One of the figures at the head of the couch is probably a child because of its small size. For other people kneel and sit in front of the deceased, perhaps the family members of the dead. On the back and on the side under the handles are other grieving people who are shown in a similar pattern. The latter can be seen here in this photo. Finally, there is the question of the function of a 1.56 meters high vessel. This amphora was not used in everyday life. Rather, it stood as a kind of grave marker on the grave of the deceased. The bottom of the vase was not closed, but perforated, so that the bereaved could pour libations into it for the dead. The liquid was thus able to penetrate the ground and, according to the belief, serve as a drink for the deceased. Studies have shown that amphorae were often used for the female dead, while such monumental vases in the shape of a crater stood on the graves of deceased men. Craters were vessels in which water and wine were mixed during feasts. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe so you won't miss new ones.